Hi everybody, Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. Before I get into today's video, I have been asked why I haven't been doing shoutouts lately because I did a lot of shoutouts over the last year and a bit. And I do like doing shoutouts. My issue right now is it got to the point where I couldn't remember who I haven't and who I had shouted out at this point. So what I'm going to do with this right now is I'm going to say a shout out to everybody on YouTube for it's hard what we do. It takes a lot of guts for what we do because you have to present yourself to the world. I mean, you can edit and you can do whatever, but you're still going to show who you are and what you like. And so therefore, it takes a lot of courage to do that sort of thing for the first few months. I will shout out Lyle Hobson for, he's still doing amazing on his new channel. Lyle has been his first appearance on YouTube was with me, and I just feel great that he's done what he's done. But everybody out there that has done it, way to go. You need to hear that you're doing well. You're doing well, and I'm appreciative. And I hope everybody else out there, I'm sure everybody else out there, if they're subscribed to you, if they're watching you, they like you. So it's that simple, right? And on that note, I also want to go to the fans, the people who watch the videos and subscribe to the videos without doing a channel of their own. Without you guys, we're nothing. So I appreciate everybody who's out there that's done it. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Thank you for taking the and all this other stuff. Now, let's get on to the topic of the day. Today, I wanted to do something interesting. DC fans out there know that at least pre-crisis, there were lots of different multiverse, lots of different worlds. You had Earth Shazam. You had Earth X, which was the Freedom Fighters. You had Earth 4, which was the Quality Comics characters, which, like Blue Beetle, Question, etc. And you had Earth 1, Earth 1, which was the main planet that everything. Earth 3 with the really, really bad criminals. Well, Earth 2 is the one we're going to talk about briefly today. Earth 2 is a big favorite of mine, but we're only going to be talking about one character on Earth 2. We are going to be talking briefly about a brief history of the Earth 2 Batman, and then I'm going to show books of showing his death, which ended, of course, didn't end the story for Batman because his diary was the big motivator for the America versus the Justice Society, which was a nice 4-issue miniseries that came out in 1984, before Crisis, but involved the Batman's diary. And since Batman had passed away, this was one of those things that moved on. So, the Earth 2 Batman is the Batman that was in Detective Comics 27. Which debuted in May 1939. Batman has been one of the best-known superheroes ever since. Certainly for pre-crisis, there were a couple heroes that beat him in terms of sales and all that stuff. I mean, there was a couple times Batman could have been canceled and wasn't, but he didn't. And so forth. There was the Earth 1 Batman, which we're all regularly, used to, but the Earth 2 Batman was established as having existed as an effect of the Flash crossovers where Barry Allen meets Jay Garrick and the Justice Society and so on. Justice League of America 83 was the one that bang. Yes, there was a Earth 2 Batman, but realistically, we knew there was one if there was a Superman and a Wonder Woman. Born on April 7th, 1915, the boy Bruce Wayne was orphaned at age 8 when Joe Chill killed his parents during a mugging. Bruce vowed to avenge their deaths and spend his life fighting crime. He ended up being raised by his uncle Philip Wayne. In college, he studied basically everything And his medical knowledge in particular got so strong that he literally stopped short of going to take the boards for the MD. He met Julie Madison while he was in college. Julie Madison was his first girlfriend and fiance. At first, Bruce decided to become a cop, but Julie forbade that because she was afraid of the danger he'd get in. So he decided to become a costume vigilante instead, because that's much safer. Thus, while he was thinking about this, the story of the bat flying into Wayne Manor's window happened. Batman's first case was against a thief by the name of Slugsy Kyle. Slugsy, really. The story that we're all familiar with the Chemical Syndicate story, chronologically was his second adventure. I'm not sure if they ever actually showed the Slugsy Kyle one, but I know it was talked about in another issue, and that's why it's part of the story. Originally, Bruce did not shy away from killing, but as he became better known and earned the respect of the Gotham police, he stopped. Julie and Bruce broke up not long after the Clayface incident, where she decided she wanted to go on and become an actress, and Bruce wasn't leaving Gotham City. By this time, he, of course, had been to Haley's Circus and was there the night that the Graysons were killed, and he brought Dick Grayson in. He only made him a ward because originally Batman had intended Grayson to only stay long enough to solve this case, and then he was going to go off to other relatives. But Robin decided to continue in crime fighting despite the Batman's objections, and they stayed together after that. He ends up dating a woman by the name of Linda Page later. It becomes serious, but not so serious. Linda Page is the woman who gets married in The Brave and the Bold 197. Pretty much a last story for the Batman of Earth 2, and this one was taking place in the 50s. Batman fought the Joker, Penguin, the Scarecrow, Two-Face, and the Riddler, and Catwoman during Earth 1 time. There are Earth 1 and Earth 2 versions of both characters. In fact, technically, the first appearance of the Earth 1 Two-Face is that issue by Neil Adams in the 1970s, because Two-Face before was early enough in the Golden Age that it was considered to only be an Earth 2 villain at the time. His butler, who he did not grow up with, who he hired later, and he had Dick there when he was hired, was a man by the name of Alfred Beagle. Eventually, Batman settles down and he marries Selina Kyle, or the Batwoman, and they have a daughter named Helena, who grows up to become the Huntress, which is a character that I think a lot of people out there know about too. Batman then decides to retire as he gets older. He becomes the police commissioner of Gotham upon James Gordon's death. And so by the time the Power Girl is in the picture, he's the police commissioner of Gotham City, and he was when he dies. Earth 2's, now, one of the cool thing about comic books is I read an article on Mike's wonderful, amazing world of comics, and it gave an approximate time for most of these. Which one is Earth 1, which one is Earth 2 adventures? Well, here, Earth 2 Batman adventures were available in the issues of Batman until issue 80, Detective until issue 202, World's Finest 67, and all the Star Spangled Comics Robin appearances all take place on Earth 2. There are smaller stories that are intertwined over the course of the years. There's a couple Brave and the Bolds. Brave and the Bold 200 had a weird mix where a criminal went from Earth 2 to Earth 1 and had fought both Batman. And that was pretty much the last Batman Earth 1 appearance before Crisis. Earth 2 appearance before Crisis. So like for the most part, I think there were 3 appearances of the Golden Age Batman after these cutoff times, and so on. This is Adventure Comics 461. Only Legends Live Forever from February 1979. Covers by Jim Aparo. The writer is Paul Levitz. The pencils for this story are done by Joe Stanton, and the inks are also done by Joe Stanton. Now, this, of course, is oh my God, I can't even think, an anthology book. I can't even remember the word. This is an anthology book, and at the time, the Justice Society of America was only one of 5 features. You had Dead Man, Wonder Woman, Flash, and Aquaman in here as well. But there's your thing. There is a criminal named Bill Jensen, who is a criminal that Bruce Wayne himself, as a policeman, not as Batman, once sent to jail, has escaped, and he has suddenly got incredible energy powers, and is demanding that Bruce Wayne, come out and be turned over to him. He manages to defy and defeat the Justice Society while they try to take him down. And here is in case the cover doesn't give it away, guess what happens in this one? This is 462. Only Legends Live Forever, Part 2. April 1979. Covered by Jim Aparo and Tatiana Wood. Written by Paul Levitz. Pencils by Joe Stanton and inks by Dick Giordano. Bill Jensen climbs and scales to the top of the Gotham Towers, where he single-handedly manages to defeat the members of the JSA up there. Jensen screams that he wants to avenge himself against Commissioner Bruce Wayne, who he believes had framed him and sent him to jail in the first place. When Wayne learns of the situation, he becomes Batman one more time. He swings up the tower and sees that Flash has been thrown off the top, and manages to catch Flash on his way up and put Flash down on a area where he can be fine, and goes up to confront Jensen himself. The other JSA members are still fighting to no avail. Batman approaches, and Jensen tries his powers on him. Suddenly, because of the power that's turned on, Jensen's power manages to sear away Batman's mask, and Jensen realizes that it's Bruce Wayne beneath the mask. Getting even angrier, Jensen uses his powers at full power, that ends up killing them both. Bruce Wayne is laid next to Selina Wayne, which, as I said, Catwoman became his wife, as Robin and Huntress vow to continue this. Because of what happened, everybody on the planet knew that Bruce Wayne was Batman. So Dr. Fate weaves the spell, ensuring that no one would remember this, and that Bruce and Batman will only be remembered as having died on the same day. What these books don't tell you, and what you don't find out till the America versus the Justice Society, was that at the time he died, Batman already had lung cancer. The Earth 2 Batman smoked a pipe. That was one of the changes, that the Earth 1 never smoked. The Earth 2 one smoked a pipe because it was the 1930s and everybody smoked, right? So that was how that was done. And he had just been diagnosed with lung cancer. He had told Helena, but never told Dick. And Dick was absolutely pissed when he found out, because he thought that, Batman didn't trust him as much. And she said it had nothing to do with that. Batman didn't want Robin to be distracted while he was doing his work, because Robin at the time, in his Dick Grayson identity, was the U.S. ambassador to South Africa. So, which, by the way, in the book in the 1970s, actually got rid of apartheid a lot sooner before they did here. If you like this video, Please like, comment, and subscribe below. If you want to know more about the Earth 2 Batman, well, other than the basic information I've given here, it all comes down to reading the stories that I had pointed out. This Batman, as I said, he even carried a gun for a while after getting Robin, but I don't think he shot anybody at that point. But he still had the gun on his holster for a little bit after Robin came. You'd think he would have shot the Joker in the first one, right? Batman 1. But this was an amazing, this was such an interesting time for Batman. It was cool how they modernized him by giving him a different, by putting him in the different universe, which meant that they could keep this nice and more simpler Batman to the another thing about Earth 2 Batman, he had a tendency to be around all those big things like the big lighters, big pennies, big papers. Now I know that the Earth 1 Batman was around a big penny too when they put that, but a lot of their what they have said is a lot of their history is the same but different. And that's the way I look at it too. Please like, comment, and subscribe. This was a lot of fun to put together. I would probably say that even though I like Superman and Supergirl the best, Earth 2 Batman is one of my favorites. Probably I like him more than Earth 2 Superman. Thank you, everybody. My name is Matt. I love comics, and I like comics, and I hope you do too. Bye, everybody.